Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's out in North McKinney, Texas. It is a beautiful late afternoon, although all of the light is still here. As always, please make sure you are hitting the thumbs up or like button for this video. Press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. Hoping that we can get to 13,000 Plant Foldy subscribers for this YouTube channel. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers Plant Foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie. I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. And if you haven't already, please make sure you are following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the most fastest and direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plants that I'm featuring. But as you can see right here, I am in North McKinney, Texas. This is a Lowe's I typically go whenever I'm up in this area. And we are going to take a look at what plants they have. It is spring 2025, or at least it will be in the next couple of days. So hopefully we can find some good plants. But before we get into that, I will show you this new soil that I've gotten into. It is called Classy Rabbit. So definitely check out classyrabbit.com. But I will give you a little bit more information before we go into the main event. Plant Foldies, have you ever heard of this new soil called Classy Rabbit, which is from a local small business out in McKinney, Texas? Really excited to share with you this new soil, which is 100% organic. What I love about it is that this is a standalone type soil. You don't have to mix orchid bark or other amendatives that actually make this soil chunky. It is already chunky, light, and fast draining. You can use it to improve your existing soil. What I also like about it is they are made by farmers, so they don't really consult like soil scientists or whatever that means. They really know what Mother Nature has in the soil. And what I like about it is I've been able to pot up a lot of my plants from overseas, and they have really acclimated to this soil. I love the fact that, again, it is 100% organic, and the ingredients that we have would be rabbit manure, composed food waste, pine bark chips, mycorrhizae, dried molasses, pumice, and expanded shale, rice hulls, and yucca extract. So all of those ingredients really make this soil. It is balanced, and what I love about it is Classy Rabbit products are simple where it counts, smart where they matter. So that means all of the ingredients that the soil needs, it's right there. They don't need to add anything else, and they don't offer anything that they don't need. I also love the fact that Classy Rabbit is priced well, where it's a happy medium between the low prices of cheap, and when I say cheap, quality, and the high prices of unnecessary ingredients. It kind of balances it both. And if you see right here, I potted this Aglaonema up in a terracotta planter. You can see how fast draining it is as I put a bunch of water into the soil. You can see that it is literally just draining through. But just because it's fast draining, it doesn't mean that it doesn't retain moisture. It definitely does. But I love the fact that I don't have to worry about adding any perlite, because this particular soil doesn't have perlite. It has all natural ingredients. So for those that have never heard about Classy Rabbit, please go to classyrabbit.com. I highly endorse this soil. I love it so much. And even though I've been doing semi-hydroponic substrates like Lechuza Pond and Leca, I've actually been converting all of my plants back to soil because of this particular soil. They do offer free shipping at classyrabbit.com. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested, and hopefully you will support Classy Rabbit. I mean, have you pooped on your plants lately? I would. So with spring just being about 2 days away since this video actually premiered, I will be featuring a lot of the outdoor garden plants as well as the vegetable herbs sections of these big box stores. So you can see right over here, we've got a bunch of citrus type plants. Now I am looking for what they call the calamansi tree, which is basically the Philippine lime. I'm hoping that I can find one of those and grow those for my collection. But as you can see right over here, we've got got some Bonnie vegetables right here, different types of herbs. I am currently growing some tomatoes, some bell peppers. I'm hoping to grow some okra, and I will be growing some more of these tomatoes as well. You can see right here, we've got a Mr. Stripey tomato, which is an heirloom tomato. Really love the variegation of that. And, you know, as far as fresh vegetables, that's something that I love to grow year after year. It's not something I featured on my plant shopping YouTube channel, but that will be something I will eventually insert as extra content. I have talked about the Patreon page. So if you want to go join my Patreon page, I will be launching that very soon. It'll feature a lot more of my personal houseplant collection, but more so my outdoor garden and just all of my personal plants. So we'll take a look at that. But before we go into the rest of the plant shopping video, I did want to just call out Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. Please join me with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard U.S. time every Tuesday. We have a new episode. We've been working super hard on it, and I'm hoping that you guys can join us because it is close to an hour discussion about plant-related topics. We are on season 2, and so if you haven't already, do a search for Cultivation Corner and please subscribe with all the notification bell on. I would really appreciate that support.
Hey, y'all see the shirts that we're rocking? I mean, isn't this fly? This is fly. See, this could be in your closet. You know what I'm saying? We are selling these limited edition Cultivation Corner sweatshirts right now.
Season 2?
That's right.
Season 2.
Season 2. Listen. If you want one, you better get up on it because, like I said, they're limited. So
send us a DM in the Cultivation Corner Instagram so we can go ahead and get that custom sizing.
That's right.
You could be like us.
That's right. You don't want FOMO on this one, you guys. You need this is what couture.
Cultivation Couture.
Cultivation Couture.
And
Plant foldies, now you can see that we're walking into the outdoor garden section. I just wanted to do a little quick loop around, and if you made it this far, please don't click away. I will definitely get to all of the indoor tropical plants. I know that I've shown you guys a couple of little commercials and little blurbs, but as far as the main event, we will be getting to the indoor tropical section. But as you already know, I also love plants that are for outdoor gardening, and it's one of those things where I feel like I do have an eclectic taste when it comes to plants or just things in general that I'm interested in. So a little tidbit about me, the reason why I call this YouTube channel the Grow Folds channel is because the grow is definitely part of the vegetable, indoor, tropical, whatever you want to call it, plants content. And then the fold, Folds, is in reference to origami. So I love the art of folding paper into different types of shapes. That is a traditional Japanese art, and I love origami. I feel like it's very therapeutic, and I have a goal of folding 1 million origami paper crayons in my lifetime. I've been doing it for about 8 years straight. So in addition to my big box store plant shopping videos, my plant content, my 10-hour job that I do, I also fold origami paper cranes daily. So, you know, some people will say, well, Richie, when do you sleep? Where and when do you sleep? Well, I can sleep anywhere, but as far as sleeping, I still get some, decent amount of time to sleep. I just try to maximize my time in trying to balance a lot of that out. So, little tidbit about me is I do love origami. I feel like that is a good hobby to get into. It definitely helps you practice mindfulness, which I feel like everybody needs to practice with this day and age where we're always on the go. But as far as all of the plants here, I will be showing you all of these different types of annuals and tropical plants. So you can see right here, we've got an African violet and not an African violet. You see, I'm thinking about African violets. That is actually a African marigold, which means that the blooms are a lot larger than the typical French marigolds. And then right over here, plant foldies, we've got some succulents and cactus. So this is some type of euphorbia. And I just find that, you know, the more you learn about plants, or at least for me, the more I learn about plants, the more I get into them, because number one, I know more so the plant care tips. And then number two, you just learn, like, I don't know, just things about them that you may have not thought about, which makes them a little bit more interesting. But if you're ever looking for some landscape type succulents and cactus, I would highly recommend going to Lowe's. So, you know, Lowe's is a good place to go shopping for plants in general, whether it is indoor tropical plants from Costa Farms, plants, urban jungle, or live trends, or if you want outdoor gardening plants. So you can look for like Encore azaleas or Monrova gardening plants. So I'm just going to walk around here and just continue to show you the different types of plants. We did have somebody change their mind on this really cool but mostly red Croton Petra right here. I believe this one is only for $19.98 or somewhere around that range. I really like the look of that plant. It looks like that plant is on fire. And let's keep walking around here, and we're looking at some Acer palmatum, or what you call Japanese maple. So that's another thing that I am also into, is collecting maple trees, more so just Japanese maples, trident maples. I have a couple of different types of cultivars. I'm hoping to visit Metro Maples, which is a local nursery out in Fort Worth, Texas, that specializes in maple trees, specifically Japanese maples. So Scott Hubble owns that place, and that will be a place that I will hopefully visit next week. We'll see what that looks like. They also have Satsuki azaleas, which are Japanese azaleas, and we'll see what all of that looks like when I do visit it. But my Japanese maples are actually waking up in my backyard. I actually have a beautiful variegated peach tree blossom called a peppermint peach tree. So I can't really grow Japanese cherry blossom trees in North Dallas. I feel like it's just too hot. But if you want something blooming, if you want something that mimics Japanese cherry blossoms in the spring, you can always grow blooming shrubs and blooming trees like peach trees. So you can see right over here, this is a blooming tree that is some type of magnolia tree. And then you can see there's different types of fruit trees, but the ones I wanted to show you would be the peach trees. So they've got the upright peach trees here, and these are only for $37. And then they also have what you call the bonfire peach tree, which is one that stays dwarf. I actually have one growing in my front yard, but $37.98 is not a bad price at all for these beautiful blooming plants. You can see they do look like Japanese cherry blossom trees that signifies spring. And if you have cooler temperatures, they tend to hold onto the blooms a little bit more so. Otherwise, when the temperature starts to warm up, I noticed that these peach trees start to push out more of their leaves. This one has dark maroon foliage, which I really like. So the bonfire peach tree, really nice to see that this one is actually available at a big box store. And I happened to get one from Home Depot a couple years back, $37.98. I'm actually tempted to buy another one. This is a fast growing tree. So if you want something that's blooming every spring, get yourself a peach tree. So I'll just keep walking and showing you all the rest of the outdoor garden plants. Spring is almost here, just 2 days away. In the comment section, plant foldies, let me know what plants you are going to be growing outdoors. If you are starting a vegetable garden or an herb garden, I'd love to hear your insights in the comment section. notice, plant foldies, that every single Lowe's, at least in the North Dallas area, which is where I'm based at, is really getting super full, which makes it exciting to go out and make some content for big box or plant shopping. I know that some of you guys will run into some of my longer compilations / marathons of me shopping, so definitely shop with me. But now that I have a little bit more time on my hands, a little bit more light working in my favor, because I know last fall and actually in the winter time, you know, the sun would actually go down around like 5 o'clock, and I really want to give you guys really good lighting whenever I go big box store plant shopping. You can see right over here too, this one right here is another plant that I am actually interested in possibly growing indoors. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this particular plant right here for $7.98. Really like the look of the variegation of this plant. You can see that the edges are really nice right over here. This is a beautiful hosta plant, and as far as hostas, they are considered perennial. So if you're into gardening, if you, depending on your grow zone, so mine is grow zone I think 8B. Do your research to see if a plant will actually be a perennial plant in your grow zone. Basically, a perennial plant is if you plant it in your grow zone and it is considered a perennial plant, it will grow back year after year. So it'll die back, but then come back year after year. Perennials are what you call an infinity plant. It is a plant that once you plant it in the ground, it will come back year after year, which is what I like, because when you think about plants that are going to be cost effective, it's going to fit your budget, it's going to save you money, perennial plants in a garden space is definitely one you want to get into. And this is one that I like. Look at how beautiful the foliage is. It's got that green on green variegation with the texture of like lining on that plant. I love that it's got rounder leaves, and it almost reminds me of like large leaves of like a global green pothos. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with me, but it's got a beautiful coloration on it. I am curious if somebody's ever tried to grow hostas indoors. If you have, let me know in the comment section. I might do research on it, because I'm also thinking about plants that are typically grown outdoors but can be grown indoors. So a couple of plants to mention would be oxalis or shamrock plants. Also these plants right here, the hostas, some people say that you could possibly grow it indoors, so I'm really curious about that. And then obviously coleus plants. So you'll hear a lot about coleus plants on my plant shopping channel, because I had a full-blown obsession when it came down to coleus plants. So we'll see what that all looks like. Very interested to show you the colorful blooms, but you can see right over here, I'm just going to keep walking around and showing you more perennial plants. $8.48 by Monrova Plants. So Monrova is another leading garden, outdoor garden plant provider for big box stores like Lowe's and Kalia Lilies. What a beautiful plant. Let's just keep walking around here and seeing what they have. And when you talk about a cute fuzzy plant, take a look at this lamb's ear plant right here. If you touch it, it really feels very fuzzy. It feels like, some sheets that you could just drape on yourself, and it's super comfortable. What a beautiful and interesting texture on the plant. And that's why I like to take you guys out into the outdoor garden section. I know some of you guys might be into the aeroids. Some of you guys may have subscribed to my YouTube channel because you found my PlantCon 2025 Orlando videos. Hopefully I can get you guys sold on looking at outdoor garden plants, as well as the common easy care plants that are budget friendly. I know that PlantCon had a lot of these rare variegated plants, and I am a fan of that as well, but you already know that when it comes down to it, I love going back to the basics. I love going back to the plants that are going to save me a little bit more money because they are budget friendly and they're easy to care for. So we'll definitely look at that. We're almost done looking at the outdoor section here. You can see that we've got the purple oxalis plant or the shamrock plants. What a beautiful plant this is. And you know, what I like about this plant is you can grow these indoors. These are for $6.98. And I love the fact that when there is no more light, the leaves fold up and curl up. So it's just an interesting plant. It does a lot of movement depending on where the light source is. So it looks like it's a dancing plant. Really nice plant. And I remember Sydney Plant Guy had a very iconic looking one on his YouTube channel. And then we're going to just walk around here again and I'll show you what other plants they have for the outdoor section. I am just really curious to see again, Plant Foldies, what plants you are adding into your collection in terms of the outdoor garden section, or are you more so into just indoor tropical plants? Let me know in the comment section below. And again, if you haven't made it, if you made it this far, if you made it this far into the plant shopping video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It's just that it'll help me grow this YouTube channel out more. So I do notice though, and I'm just gonna call you guys out, if you do click on one of my videos that might be a rerun or a compilation video, I would hope that you guys would still press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. You know, there are some days where I either want to take a break from trying to edit a video. I mean, on average, these videos will take me a good 3 to 4 to 5 hours to produce. And when you're doing that daily, and you're trying to juggle the rest of your life, sometimes I don't have the time to actually get a video up. So I will combine 2 videos and basically do a video rerun. I will say there are less folks pressing the thumbs up or like button. Go ahead and press the thumbs up or like button. What is hurting you from doing that, or what is stopping you from doing that? All I know is this: it helps this channel grow so much. And if you already liked it the first time, you might as well hit it and like it then the second time on a plant shopping video compilation. So hopefully you guys will do that and heed my call. I would really appreciate it. $4.94. We've got a Hedera Helix. This is a Hedera Helix, or what you call the English ivy. You'll notice that the English ivy actually has many different types of varieties of faces. This one is just a green variety, and they're actually pretty hardy when you take them outside and grow them in a container or some type of patio arrangement. Now, if you grow them on the ground in your landscape, they will take over your landscape. So do not do that unless you are prepared for that English ivy to be very invasive. And then over here for $13.98, we've got a bunch of French marigolds. And marigolds are my first flowering plant I've ever grown when I believe I was like a child, elementary school, somewhere of that range. I remember buying a Happy Meal from McDonald's, and they had a greenhouse as a free toy with marigold seeds. And I remember I was able to, actually grow them from seeds and actually get my first marigolds that way. So that was my first experience actually growing plants from seed. They were marigolds. So marigolds have a special place in my heart. They are plants that I would love to grow though, because I would love to make marigold tea, where you just take the petals of marigolds, dry them, and then steep them like regular tea. And that's the thing I love, loose leaf Japanese green tea. I'm not really a big fan of like tea bags, but when it comes to brewing loose leaf teas, I am all about it. I am looking for a really good organic source of what you call gyokoro green tea. So if you know of any places that I can get that Japanese tea, high quality ones, leave that in the comment section below. But right now I am just going to pick up a couple more plants and show you these begonias, and I believe coleus plants are up next. have now reached these orange coral type coleus plants. These are for $1.98. $1.98 is what you would pay for this beautiful plant. And coleus plants, people will consider these as like patio outdoor garden plants, some that you would actually put in your landscape in a shaded area. You can grow these plants indoors, and really all plants can be grown indoors. It just really depends on the lighting conditions and the amount of time you can invest in growing the plants, as far as like actually watering them, preparing them from getting pests, like pest preventatives. All of that is actually factored in on whether you can grow a plant indoors. Now with coleus plants, I don't really see a lot of pests for them, maybe spider mites or mealy bugs, but growing them indoors is really not that difficult. And the only thing I would say is coleus plants are very thirsty plants, so you have to make sure that you are watering them consistently. And then you can see right over here, we've got the polka dot plants. These are for $1.98. They're considered annual garden plants, so you can actually plant them in your garden. You can see they've got a different variety of different types of colors, whites, pinks, and reds. What a beautiful plant. I wish I could grow this plant indoors long term, but for some reason, if I overwater them, they crisp up. If they get underwatered, they crisp up. If they don't get enough, I guess, humidity, they don't do well. If they don't get the perfect amount of bright indirect light, they don't do well. So I know that I've been talking slightly negative about that plant, but that's really what happens. And then you can see we are now in the indoor tropical section. So hopefully you haven't clicked away, you haven't stopped watching this video, because now we're on the main event, which is to look at all of these indoor houseplant, tropical plants, all of these Costa Farms plants. We're going to see what we have here. And you'll notice, plant foldies, that this particular Lowe's location has quite a bit of indoor tropical house plants. We're going to take a look at some of these container plants right over here with some Phalaenopsis orchids. This one also has a Dracaena lemon surprise. So they've got these combination planters. Let's take a look at the price here. This is for $27.98. So this plant is actually grown in sphagnum moss. So you've got a Phalaenopsis orchid as well as a Dracaena. That's a nice combination. And then we've also got some dendrobium orchids and more Phalaenopsis orchids here. This one has a beautiful Peperomia Ginny. That's one of my favorite peperomias. It really has more of a succulent type texture on the leaves, but look at these blooms as well. You'll notice that Lowe's has quite a bit of Phalaenopsis orchids, but also has many different types of orchids. So that they got Calathea orchids, dendrobium orchids, Vando orchids, and some other different types of exotic type orchids. And you know, as far as a big box store or a retailer, I will dub Lowe's as probably having the most diverse section when it comes to orchid plants. So if you're looking for those types of orchids, definitely go shopping at Lowe's. And then obviously you can't go to Lowe's without finding Costa Farms plants. So $15, and actually no, this is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant for $19.84 in a self-watering planter. And then we are also looking at some Aglaonema red Siam, and I mentioned this in every single video of mine, every single plant shopping video. Costa Farms has Aglaonema red Siams. Aglaonemas are my favorite plant to grow because they are easy to care for plants, low light tolerant, drought tolerant, underrated, overlooked, all of the adjectives that I go after, because you know what? I like to go after the underdog. I like to be that one person that is all about going for the person that's not necessarily popular but has a lot to offer. That is the Aglaonema. So, a little story time. When it came down to going to PlantCon, which is a huge plant show, obviously, whenever somebody would ask me what my favorite plant is or what plant I'm looking for, and I didn't mention a variegated monstera or some type of philodendron or Hoya, and I mentioned Aglaonema, there was always this facial expression of bewilderment, confusion, and I'm like, no, Aglaonemas. I love Aglaonemas. And The thing about it is social media is a very powerful platform, and I want to utilize this platform to really get everybody excited about Aglaonemas. I mean, why would you not? And I say this in all my videos, and I'm pretty sure some people are tired of it. Some people may have even unsubscribed to my YouTube channel because I am so gung-ho about Aglaonema and just being repetitive. But you know what? Like I said before, it is all about being your most authentic self and not really changing who you are because you want to please others. I just really think that you guys should get into Aglaonemas. Let me know in the comment section if you have actually bought an Aglaonema Red Siam. I do consider that as one of my mascots when it comes to representing the Grow Folds Plant Foldy community, because again, it is all about driving that positivity, having a safe space, but also cheering for the underdog. I mean, who doesn't want the underdog to win? I feel like Aglaonemas have gotten a lot of traction. So if you have Aglaonema, post a picture of Aglaonema on your Instagram or any of your social media platforms like Facebook. Tag me at GrowFolds and use the hashtag PlantFoldies. Use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema, and we'll see if we can connect more people who love that plant. But to go back to all of the other plants here, you can see that Costa Farms has released a bunch of these Dieffenbachias. Now, I believe this is what you call the Dieffenbachia Sublime. Beautiful plant here. You can see that it's got some beautiful variegation. It's got that green and then light green tone. There is a very high contrast with the leaves. Now, Dieffenbachia grow similar to Aglaonema in their growth habits. They clump up. They shoot little baby pups that you can separate from the mother plant. The only difference is Dieffenbachia need to be in bright light. They need quite a bit of light. They're a little bit more of a spider mite magnet, so you have to stay on top of the pest preventatives. I would say you need to go ahead and spray this down with neem oil or a pest preventative consistently. And then as far as an easy to care for plant, so Costa Farms also has released a crop of more of these Dracaenas. This is another Dracaena right over here for $19.98. And I love that green on green stripe. Beautiful plant, low light tolerant plant, easy to care for plant. And I keep repeating myself, but I have to have everybody excited about easy to care for basic plants. The thing about it is, just because a plant is considered basic, it doesn't mean that it's not interesting. It doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve to be part of a plant collection. All I mean when I call it a basic plant is it has basic care needs. And with life being so complicated, with things just being sometimes out of our hands in terms of like our time management, I think going basic in terms of going for plants that require basic needs, you need to go for that. You need to go for plants that aren't going to take up a lot of your time, are not going to give you a lot of stress. So that's what I mean when I talk about basic plants during my plant shopping videos. And I did want to just say thank you to all of the plant foldies again. Those that have really consistently stayed on the live premiere chats, those that invest and show kindness for a content creator like myself who want to listen to what I want to talk about. Whether it's a bunch of the plants that I'm talking about, whether it's my daily life, whether it's just all of my insights, I utilize this YouTube channel again as more of a personal lifestyle blog as well, where I'm just telling you my thoughts. So if you want company, if you want somebody to talk your ear off, if you just want to hear me talk, this is definitely the YouTube channel for you. But I did want to say thank you to all of the plant foldies. You guys are amazing, and I hope that we continue to grow this channel, grow this community where we can interact with each other. The reason why I try to do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos is because there is that live premiere chat where we can all just gather along at 7 p.m. Central Standard United States time and chat. I look forward to doing that, and there's not a lot of YouTube channels that offer that chat feature. And you know, for me, it's a sense of community. It's a sense of pride for me to be able to give you that consistent content. So like I said again, the only thing I ask for all of our plant foldies as I do these plant shopping videos is definitely press the thumbs up or like button for this video. I always wonder, and I'm always very blunt, very transparent. It's like whenever I put a compilation video or maybe a rerun, and people are not as engaged in pressing the thumbs up button. Well, if you press the like button the first time you saw it, you might as well hit the like button again. I joke, like, you don't necessarily have to do that, but I always wonder about people's behaviors and just their the way they go about things. And I'm the type of person where sometimes I'm an overthinker. Sometimes I just wonder and allow my brain to just go off the deep end in terms of just overthinking. And I think that when it comes down to it, I don't think that we should overthink. It is a little bit harder to not overthink sometimes. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you are an overthinker, what you do to ground yourself, because just as much as I love to do plant shopping videos and show you all of these beautiful plants, I also want to touch base on subjects such as mental health and wellness. I think those are subjects that I think a lot of us may not always talk about openly, but it's something that I definitely want to be transparent about. And, somebody had asked me the other day why I do daily 1 hour plant shopping videos. And I really want to highlight 1 hour. Some people are like, Richie, you could benefit from doing shorter videos. Honestly, I like to do longer format content for a couple of reasons. Number one, with the day and age where everybody's attention spans stay within a 5-second reel or a TikTok video, I just feel like even the younger generation tends to just not have that attention span. I am part of the I guess more older generation. I am an 80s baby. I will be turning 43 this year. And my thing about it is I like that longer format. I like watching movies. I like watching things that take more of my time because it allows me to digest the content versus having a blink of an eye and then there's another type of entertainment stimulation when it comes to like a 5-second video. So that's number one, the reason why I do specifically 1 hour shopping videos. And then number two, I like to do 1 hour shopping videos because it helps me with my routines. And when I say my routines, I find so much therapy going to a big box store and literally taking my phone, picking up plants and just filming it, because it allows me to have mindfulness. It allows me to practice that presence where I'm focused on a specific subject, a specific task, and everything else gets thrown out the window. I think that is really important for me personally. It's a really good way for me to practice mindfulness and also just to work on, ensuring that I have healthy mental health. And that's the reason why I do the plant shopping videos, and hopefully that resonates for those that you guys actually find value in me telling you my intent as to why I do that. Now, granted, I may do a 30-minute shorter video, but in terms of just doing reels and shorts videos, that's really not my audience, and that's really not my niche. I do have an Instagram account where I do at the most 1 minute shorts videos, but I know the majority of you guys aren't even on Instagram. I wish you would create an Instagram account, honestly, because I tend to post a lot more updates on that. But you guys will be tuning into my Patreon page, or at least I'm hoping that you guys will. And that's where I will really do a lot of the majority of my my updates for my plants. But to go back to the plants, you can see I have featured a lot of these Vanda orchids. And the Vanda orchids, when you compare them to like the Phalaenopsis orchids or other types of orchids, these are orchids that really need a lot of light. Their beautiful plants are considered epiphytes. So if you'll notice, they don't even have to be in an orchid bark substrate. You can literally just let them hang, let their aerial roots capture the moisture from the actual atmosphere, and that's really how they water themselves. Now, in terms of watering, I would suggest just soaking the aerial roots in water for a couple of minutes and then pulling it out and letting it just dry. You never really want to let the orchid bark, or actually the Vanda orchid's roots sit in any type of water, because it's quickly could root rot. So that's what I would suggest. And did you see that that's 20% off on the planters? So here is an another thing I would say about saving money while shopping at a big box store retailer like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, or Target. Download their apps. And the reason why I say that is they have a lot of loyalty programs. So like Lowe's has what they call My Rewards, where when you scan their barcode, you rack up a lot of points and eventually you end up getting coupons. I think that that's another way of saving money whenever you're shopping for plants. Let me know in the comment section, Plant Foldies, if you actually have apps on your phones for some of these retailers. I recently got, the Lowe's app. I definitely have the Target app, the Walmart app, and the Home Depot app because it helps me look for items in stores. And I can also compare and contrast pricing. It holds your receipts. So for instance, if you buy a plant from Lowe's and you are not truly satisfied with them, you can return the plant as long as you hold on to your receipts. But these store apps also hold the receipts, which I really think is really convenient. So let's just continue to look at some of these plants. You can see right here, we've got a lot of beautiful blooming plants, blooming anthuriums and bromeliads right over here. Now we're looking at some of these Costa Farms plants. So we have trending tropical plants, exotic angel plants, these self-watering planters. And then you can see over here again, I wanted to show you these Costa Farms blooming anthuriums. This is just a classic red anthurium. And when you talk about anthuriums, we already know that most people will not attribute this blooming anthurium is one that people collect, but I find it beautiful. It is a very consistent plant. It's an easy to care for plant. It's a plant that when somebody says, Richie, do you have anthuriums? Yeah, I've got a ton of anthuriums. And then I show a picture of my blooming anthuriums and they're like, no, we're talking about like anthurium dock block, Michelle, or those different types of anthuriums. But you know what? It is still an anthurium and I'm still going to root for that particular plant. Same thing with the pearls in jade pothos right over here. Beautiful plant, $16.98. And I've noticed that Costa Farms is releasing a lot of these hanging baskets again. What you'll notice about Costa Farms is that they will release a lot of the different types of plants, but in sections. So for instance, if you see a bunch of aglaonema of a certain sort, they will reach to the big box stores. You'll see that they'll have certain hanging baskets. I remember about 3 weeks ago, they had a bunch of Snow Queen pothos, and the reason why I call them Snow Queen pothos is because they were highly variegated. They were definitely not like a Marble Queen pothos, which has more of a cream tone around it. So that's what makes it exciting to go a big box store plant shopping on a daily basis. You never know what you're going to run into. Sometimes you feel like you're not going to see a specific plant, but then you'll find something as beautiful as this Hoya, Crimson Princess, for instance, a bunch of these blooming anthuriums. And I just love the fact that that is such a consistent plant. And we just have a bunch of these bromeliads in crates. If you are in the Melissa, Anna area, this is definitely a close Lowe's that you could shop at. And I would say that this Lowe's has gone a long way because I know a little while back when I visited this Lowe's, the plants were not necessarily in the best shape, but with spring coming around, I've noticed that there was a particular worker who had a lot of pride in organizing the plants, watering the plants, cutting off the dead leaves of the plants. And I love seeing that. I love seeing big box store employees take an extra mile to take care of the plants. Not all big box stores are created equal. Not all of the plants receive the same care, but once you find a big box store that is consistent, like for instance, this one, this is one Lowe's I will definitely spend my money on. I will definitely go shopping at because of the extra care they have for plants. Let me know in the comment section, Plant Foldies, actually, if you have run into specific big boxes in your areas that have really good plant care. I will give recognition to this particular Lowe's location, the North McKinney, Texas, the one right off of Highway I-75 North. This is just right before you hit the Buc-ee's in Melissa, Texas. So definitely check this area out. And you can also see that they just have so many Costa Farms plants. This one is in Aglaonema Maria. This is a green plant, green Aglaonema for $15.98. So Aglaonema plants are already underrated, right? But the greener varieties, when you start comparing them to the colorful pink ones, these ones are definitely underrated, but they're such good performers because they are low light tolerant, drought tolerant. They're pretty fast at growing when you compare them to the more colorful Aglaonemas. And then you can see right here, classic pothos plants, pothos, Epipremnum aureum. Actually, again, I will ask in the comment section, leave how you actually say pothos. Do you say pothos, pothos, or Epipremnum aureum? Costa Farms Plants has them. This is the lemon meringue pothos, which is a Costa Farms exclusive. And I'm actually curious to see if anybody has gone shopping online for the new Costa Farms releases. I know that they had recently released on the Costa Farms website the Burley Marks Flame Monstera. Let me know if you got a hold of that, and just let me know what plants you are wanting to buy from Costa Farms. Meeting Costa Farms team out in Orlando, Florida. Super nice people. I am just happy that I made that connection. To Samia and Justin, you guys are doing amazing in terms of the social media presence. And I hope you guys continue to actually push out more Costa Farms plants. I will say that every day I see a Costa Farms plant, whether it is in my personal plant collection or if I am at a big box store or local nursery. Costa Farms is everywhere, and I can see why, because their plant operation is they are really mass producing a lot of these plants. And some people will have their opinions on whether big box store plants, Costa Farms plants, are taking business away from small businesses and local nurseries. I will say this: there is a venue for everybody in terms of where you want to buy your plants. Now, for me, I do big box store plant shopping videos because big box store plants are a little bit more readily available for the general public. I, however, and if you've seen this on my other content, will always support small businesses as well, local nurseries, and you will see even a playlist of Dallas-Fort Worth nurseries. Definitely check that out on my YouTube channel. I'm constantly promoting Peta's Planters, which is my favorite plant shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am part of the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. We will be doing monthly live selling events on Peta's Planters Instagram account. So in terms of big box store plants versus small businesses, I say if you're able to support small businesses, definitely buy your plants from there. But at the same time, if you are also looking for cost-effective plants and big box stores like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, if those are the stores that you want to go shopping at, I don't see anything wrong with that. There are some people who have very strong opinions to the point where sometimes they will accuse big box stores as taking away or putting small businesses out of business. I don't think that is always the case. It is always about the consumer. It's not about the big box store that sells plants. It is not about the small business that sells plants. It's literally which consumer wants to, where the consumer wants to spend their money. So for me, I would always say, if you want a philodendron golden crocodile from Costa Farms for $19.84, and that's really the only place you can find it is at a Lowe's, definitely go buy it. There is nothing wrong with that. I feel like there's so much negativity when it comes down to where you want to buy your plants. I say if the plant brings you joy, as long as you are consciously aware that there are many other options outside of big box stores, then I say have at it. Let's go shopping. Let's share our plants. Let's talk about the plants, and let's root for the plants that are underrated, like this Dracaena lemon lime for $12.97 for Costa Farms, or this Dracaena Dorado, which really gets large, that is low light tolerant, drought tolerant, cost effective, budget friendly, big box store plant right over here. Definitely check that out. And I just am curious if you guys will actually take the time to let me know in the comment section politely about your opinions about big box store plants and small nurseries, small businesses, what your opinion is about that. Obviously, I always say If you want to give feedback, there is a way to give a critique, a friendly critique versus being outright rude or just being negative. Like that for sure is not tolerated on this YouTube channel. And if you guys have ever seen some of the folks come out and defend me personally, Plant Foldies, you guys are the best plant community out there. The fact that if anybody says anything negative toward me, you guys are out there to defend me. Thank you so much. And like I said, again, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But what I would say about social media again is like on that plant podcast, Cultivation Corner. And if you haven't already checked that out, can we please, there's like almost 13,000 Plant Foldy subscribers here, GrowFold subscribers, but we only have less than 400 on the Cultivation Corner plant podcast, which I am part of. Go ahead and make sure you guys are showing that support. That is a huge project of mine. It's a project of mine that I definitely hope you guys will tune in to every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are on season 2, but to go back to it, it's interesting because if somebody is going to be negative, just know that you will not be allowed to be part of this community. You will end up just not being shown in the comment section. We had some folks that were just not being kind, and to the point where instead of just focusing that energy on that negativity, we just removed it. And you know, some people will say, well, that's not necessarily fair for somebody to just be removed. You know, like I said again, if it's your own social media platform, you are entitled to go about it the way you want to. So it's for those that are thinking about, you know, creating a YouTube channel or maybe creating a community online through Instagram. Just know that yes, our viewers and subscribers are the ones that engage in the content, but at the end of the day, and I hope everybody understands that whatever content you want to put out there for your social media platforms is what you want to do, not necessarily be dictated by what people always want to see. You know, it was a discussion that I actually had with some of my really good friends and some of the diehard super plant foldies. I just love the fact that you guys always encourage me to do me and to be me. And that's very important, especially now that I am, you guessed it, considering going faceless on YouTube very soon. We'll see what that looks like. But I mean, I've gotten to the point where people have seen me out and about anyways in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's quite interesting because I ended up going to a plant swap, and it's so interesting that everybody was like, GrowFolds, Richie, we finally see your face. And I always joke around and say, yes, I am not scary. Yes, I am not disturbing because, you know, I wore a ski mask, for instance, at the Cultivation Corner plant podcast. But let me stop rambling on. I know that I've talked a lot more so about things that were not related to the plants we're seeing, but you always have the option to just mute the video if you just want to look at the plants. I know some people have said that, you know, that's what something, you know, that they could do. That is an option. It will not offend me if you just literally want to play my video and not listen to me talk. If you just want to see the plants, like this rainbow moss right here, $20.84 by Costa Farms. What a beautiful plant. And then we also have a creeping fig here, a variegated version. Some people will consider this ground cover, but you'll notice that Costa Farms actually utilize this as an indoor hanging basket plant for $20.84. And this whole aisle right over here has a bunch of Costa Farms exotic angel plants, ranging from $5.98 to $8.98. I love that this particular Lowe's location does take the time to organize and put all of the plants by species and genus, which is really nice. It's a nice extra touch. It definitely inspires you to want to spend more money because it's organized. And you can see plant foldies. We've got a lot of different types of Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it, guys, if you want to be that person who wants to correct people, it's actually Hedera Helix English Ivy. This one right here that I'm picking up is a gold baby English Ivy. I really love that green on green variegation. If I'm going to do the Hedera Helix Challenge 2025, which was actually created by a bunch of plant foldies in the live premiere chats, all you have to do to participate is to buy any type of Hedera Helix or English Ivy and then grow it indoors in your indoor space. So there's many different types of varieties. What you want to do is once you buy the English Ivy, you're going to mark the day you bring it into your home and see how long that English Ivy will last indoors without getting spider mites and wanting to go to plant heaven. We'll see how long somebody can grow these English Ivy, but you can see right here, this is another Hedera Helix. This one is the asterisk ivy. Really like the look of that one. And then you can see over here, we've just got lots of exotic angel plants. Red banana croton for $5.98. And crotons, as I say in all my videos, and I will be that repetitive person. Yes, I will be, because you know what? I love to embrace myself and who I am. I am a creature by repetition, a creature by, routines. And I will tell you this. Crotons always remind me of my home country, my family's home country, which is the Philippines. And so, being a proud Filipino American, just seeing how these crotons have actually made it into the U.S. market as houseplants. What I will tell you is if you ever go to the Philippines, the Pearl of the Orient, what a beautiful country it is. We have a really rich culture. All of these plants are not houseplants. These are plants that actually grow as landscape plants, full-blown trees, and it's always interesting to see a lot of these big box store plants and just know where their actual origins are. And that's the reason why I feel like whenever we talk about a plant as a house plant, there is really truly not a plant that is made for indoors. All of these plants have been sourced out outdoors somewhere in the wild, have been domesticated, have been cultivated, whatever you want to call it. Like, for instance, this Florida Hedera Helix for $5.98. It must have been an English ivy that was created in Florida or grows in Florida. But as I said again, when it comes down to like taking plants and adding them to your plant collection, if you ever need to know plant care tips, what I would say is do an online search of the plant in its natural habitat. So for instance, you can search in one of your online search engines, whichever one you prefer, Croton's natural habitat, and you will find a picture and you can kind of see where that plant is growing, whether it's in full sun, whether it's in a jungle deep in the jungle, or whether it's got higher humidity levels in that area. That sort of thing will give you an idea of what that environment should look like for your plant if you're going to grow them indoors. So for me, I just want to make sure that you guys have another way of finding plant care tips. And I just really think just going back and looking at the plant's natural environment is a perfect way to actually learn more about the plant. And then obviously doing your research, obviously watching my YouTube videos. I wouldn't say that I am necessarily a pro when it comes to plant care tips, but I will say a lot of my plant care tips are based on my personal experiences, what I've learned from my grandmother growing up, and then obviously what I've learned from the plant foldy community. I mean, you guys are probably more in tune with more plant care than I am. I just happen to be that person that wants to go film daily 1-hour plant shopping videos and talk about plants, talk about myself, talk about things that are in my brain. And I just want to share that with all of you guys. So as far as all of these plants though, you can see there are so many Costa Farms exotic angel plants. I love Costa Farms plants in a sense that they are generally readily available for the general public. And as I've said in all of my videos, who doesn't want to have access to all of these plants? Who doesn't want access to get some of the plants that maybe were gate kept, where they were just super expensive? Well, now Costa Farms has made it available to where you can collect plants. You can be that cool plant collector. You can be that person that says, yeah, I have a Burley Marks Flame Monstera and I didn't pay a fortune for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What I do think is, you know, the fact that if you're going to buy plants though, like for instance, this Dieffenbachia Amy, you just have to make sure that you are prepared to actually take care of the plant. And that's the thing about me. I have acquired so many plants, 100+ plants, and it gets to the point where it doesn't become a satisfying plant collection because you are more stressed about the watering needs of the plant or the care tips for the plants. I think a 2025 plant trend is people really getting into the stylizing of the plants. I would say in 2020 during the pandemic, more people were more about just acquiring as many plants, but I think now people are really looking at the aesthetics of the plants. Like for instance, like this Aglaonema right here, I need the specific plant ID for this one, $15.98. This gorgeous Aglaonema has like a silver foliage, white stems, and it's just gorgeous. And like I said again, easy to care for plant, but this plant would be really nice to style. Like I would put this in a modern white planter or maybe a terracotta planter and place it in an area that has a little bit more lower light because it does have leaves that are a little bit lighter. But that's the kind of plant styling I would suggest. And you know, it's interesting that, like I said again, it's one of those trends now where people are downsizing their plant collection. A lot of people are doing purges where they're not necessarily buying plants but actually giving plants away. And you can just see right here though, plant foldies. Who doesn't want to go shopping this spring? 2 more days and it'll be spring 2025. Let me know in the comments section what plants you are most excited about. So if you've enjoyed today's video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. I would hope you've already hit the like button for this video. And if you made it this far into the video, really appreciate it. Just know that I will be working super hard to do these plant shopping videos on a daily basis. That way we can see all of these gorgeous plants. I mean, I'm just going to take a little bit more time to show you what these plants look like, these Phalaenopsis orchids. So many different types of blooms right over here. I am curious again, plant foldies, what plants you are looking forward to for spring 2025. I can't believe that it's just 2 more days. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Growfolds with all the notification bell on. So when you press subscribe, go back and make sure to change it to all notifications so you stay tuned with all of my new videos that I will be releasing. I've had fun just going to these Lowe's locations and really highlighting these plants. I'll see you on the next one.